Hola, and welcome to Word to Your Mama Relatives. Relatives is a podcast within a podcast. Relatives explores the true story of how a first-generation Mexican girl, that's me, Ritzy, and a black girl, that's Nyysha, meet in South Bay, San Diego and become relatives. We discuss black and brown unity, hip-hop, overcoming trauma, crazy movie-type moments, navigating this life, and so much more. Black and Brown Unity POR VIDA. Relatives episodes come out once a month. This is episode 127, Relatives 25. If you're listening to this when it drops on April 24th, then I'm going to be testing to try to get a negative COVID test. That is correct. COVID finally got me. Had a good run over 3.5 years, and it finally got me after my NYC trip that I'll be talking about in the next Relatives for May. Amazing trip. The gist is that I did a 10-minute talk. We had an event, and I was on the Times Square, which was crazy. A lot of tears during the 28th anniversary of my mom's passing. It was a lot going on. But anyways, I came back and I've been isolated all week. But here is a relative that we recorded a couple of weeks before my trip even. In this episode, we talk about Nye's return from a cruise, how the Jollof wars continue, Misheard lyrics, swap meets, flea markets, and more. We talk about the Sadie Hawkins, and we had another name and I couldn't remember it. It's called Girls League. We talked about it before in a previous episode. So yeah, man, let's get into it. Hope you guys are all safe and healthy out there. What up, Relly?
What's up? Fresh off of vacation. That's what's up.
You're on a cruise? It seems to be like, we have the nerd out, and monthly we have relatives. And she just got back from her first ever cruise. It was a country music cruise. Oh. And now you came back from a cruise?
Country music cruise? I don't know if I can handle that. I could barely handle this.
How many days was that?
4, but it was just, I've been on cruises before.
Oh.
And, I don't want to name any cruise lines, but I ain't going on this one again.
Woo! You should name the cruise lines.
Carnival, they're ghetto. Oh. They are so. And I mean, but
it ghetto.
Right. It was for a good reason. My friend's member 50th, so a lot of people in our group, about 58 in our group.
Shit.
So it was a lot of people we met for dinner every night, which was really nice. But I've been on Carnival maybe 5 times. That's probably like my 5th or 6th time. Doesn't get any better. And I've been on other ones, and they're nice. But one that's really looking like promising, MSC. Y'all better check them out. The prices are good. It's a new line. A new cruise.
Really?
Yes. So I think that's going to be my next move as far as a cruise is concerned. But other than that, I went to the Bahamas. For me, that's up the street. And
must be nice.
It's up the street, just jump on a boat and go. But literally, it's probably like you can take from Fort Lauderdale, you can take a ferry. I think it's about 1.5 hours, 2 hours, and then you're at this island. That's how close it is. Yeah. So the cruise ship spent a whole day at sea and, wasted our time and did all that. But it was not the food. No, it wasn't horrible. But like I said, I've been on some other cruises where they treat you like, top tier.
Yeah.
This one, it's like people were just at work and they didn't care.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people from Indonesia, which, I get, from other countries that work there. So no, I'm not with it. Whatever. But I'm back. Bimini Island was nice. Like, it was beautiful, but very small. They definitely need the money, the tourism. But there's nothing to do on this island. There's a Hilton there.
Oh.
Yeah. But I just stayed a day off the boat. The water, beautiful. The water actually looked like my hair, if y'all can see this. When I show you these pictures, water was like my hair, hands down. It was so beautiful. But yeah, but it was nice. I need like a real vacation now.
Yeah.
That wasn't it.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like it was it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But other than that, just working, living this life, not doing much of anything.
Living this life. So,
Living life.
last episode. No, I don't know. I don't think it was the last episode, but a previous episode. So for Word to Your Mama, 2 episodes ago, I had the amazing Christabel, Insia Bwadi, my Ghanaian friend. Is that how you say it? Ghanaian? From Ghana?
Yeah. Ghanaian.
Ghanaian? From Ghana. She's from Ghana. She's the, her people are from Ghana. She's born in UK, Scotland or whatever. And so I had her on, and one of the questions and comments from the audience, the second one, the last one, was from us, because I was telling her who she thought was the second best when it came to Jollof. So I was telling her the whole thing, right? I was like, Nyysha, and I had her Senegalese peeps. So I'll have a link to that so you guys can listen to that episode. But for you, Nye, I wanted to tell her that she was like, so she's like, we're going to start Jollof Wars. Hilarious. And she was saying that she looked up during the podcast, she looked up who invented, and it was a Senegalese. And she said, she goes, let me be nice, because my parents raised me right. She goes, she was like, I guess, Nigeria for a second. But she's like, okay, she's like, thank you, Senegal, for inventing it, but we just perfected it.
Right. But my friend, she's from Gambia. Gambia. I stay forgetting. But
Gambia.
Oh no, they get mad when you say it like that. Gambia.
I think that's how you said it on the episode.
Gambia. I got to get it together. But remember, I told you about Benachine. I think I sent you something about that too, and it's because they put that people say theirs is the best because they do a fish and they stuff it and they put all these other seasonings. Jollof. They said that one's the best, hands down. Even other Africans.
Oh, got it.
Nigerians are cocky and they just think all they stuff is good. But hey, to each his own.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, and I told her, I was like, I'm gonna do clips of what you said so we could continue the Jollof Wars. And then this, Nyysha, let me say this, because I don't know if you responded, and I don't know if we talked about this. What's the next line? Here comes the hot stepper.
Word 'em up. I know it's not word 'em up. I know it's not word 'em up though, but that's what we said forever.
You thought too. We thought it, right? Yeah. So this is a long-standing thing. I didn't know. I told you, right? Didn't I tell you that it was wrong? Because Rocka told me it was wrong. It was like
back in the day, yeah.
It was like early 2000s.
You're like,
the song came on. He's like, "What are you saying?" And I was like, "Word 'em up." I was like, "Word 'em up," right?
Word 'em up.
And he was like disgusted. He was like, no, he's like, he's saying murderer. I was like, what? I was like, shit. I go, you're lying. And then I looked it up, and then I listened. I was like, oh shit. So then I remember, I think I called you, maybe called Aaron.
You told me.
And I was like, what? And you guys were like, nah. So okay. So it's this whole thing. So then it comes up all the time now that with the supernatural bear, right? And they make fun of me all the time. So I was like, listen, I go, I know that I'm not the only one. And then I was like, I go, Aaron's grown, Nyysha's grown. They, right. He's like, no, I think you influenced them. I go, I didn't influence for shit. I was like, they make their own decisions. I go, we weren't even around each other during that time. And then I was like, he's like, no, he's like, I think they knew what it was. And then maybe you, and then the supernatural bear and Rocka yesterday were like, no, I think, you know what we think happened? We think that you sing too loud, that you were singing the incorrect lyrics.
Well, we do talk loud, but I don't know. He said you sing too loud.
He said, he's like, I could see you saying the lyrics incorrectly too loud that they couldn't even hear what the real lyrics were.
Molded.
And I was like, no. So anyways.
On you. Oh my goodness.
So I did it. So then I posted, there was a tip top this older black man on a motorized wheelchair scrolling, rolling down the street, rocking that song. So then I posted and I was like, who else thought it said word 'em up?
Right. A lot of people, because I ask people to this day, because it comes on them at work a lot, and I'll see like a younger kid, they don't know shit, but then I'll see like somebody my age and they'll be like, they'll be singing it, and I'm like, what does it say at this part? They say other stuff, I don't know, but they sure don't say murderer,
right? So then I posted it, and then some people were like, murderer? And I was like, oh no, that's right. I go, that's correct. But then someone was like, word 'em up, right? And I was like, no. And then Christabel, right? My homegirl from her people are from Ghana. She was in the UK when that song. She thought it said, she was freaked out because she didn't know it said murderer. She thought it said burn 'em up.
Oh, burn them up. Burn them up. But why would we be burning them up?
No, but then when I was telling Raka and the Supernatural that they're at least what she got wrong makes sense because it's the hot stepper and burn them up. And I was like, but word them up.
Word them up because word up magazine.
Yeah, exactly. Or like word them up. Like, here comes the hot stepper. Yeah, that's right. They're coming. Word them up.
Word up. Oh man, I think we dropped the ball on that one. But hell, that was a time where, we didn't have lyrics and
we didn't have internet to search it. So anyways, so then I told him, I was like, look it, like these are the receipts. I'm not influencing these people. These are grown ass people, saying that they thought it said this, that they didn't, they're like, it doesn't even make sense. Murderer doesn't even make sense. So then I tweeted it today and I said, Gen Xers, finish this lyric. Here comes the hot stepper. And a couple of people are like, murderer? And I was like, yeah, that's correct. Keep it moving.
Right.
Get out of here. And then my homegirl, she was like, word 'em up. And she was laughing. I was like, but are you saying that because you know that I say that? She goes, no. She goes, I thought I was the only one until you said it. Then
this year? She thought that all the way till this year?
This year or recently, because I think I mentioned it before too. I think I posted it last year or something. But she thought the same thing. She thought she was the only one that thought it said word 'em up and I was like, see, receipts.
And even though I know what it says, I still say word 'em up when the song comes
proudly.
Word 'em up.
My one friend, Mylene, when she was like, it doesn't say that? She's like, oh my God. She goes, now I'm questioning what else I was singing wrong my entire life.
Right. A lot of songs out here. Like nowadays when I hear songs, I'm like, whoa, that's what they were saying? Sexual stuff. Yeah.
There's and the reason why it came up again is because, dude, I was singing this song like I've always, for 30, 40 years, I've been singing this song. Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Oh goodness, I remember him.
You know that one song. It goes. I'm not gonna be able to sing it.
I know what you're talking about,
but not that one. It's another one. It's called. Let me look it up. Let me look it up because I was in tears because he's like, that's not.
You're getting called out, boy.
But I was like, what? What do you mean? And I looked up the lyrics and I was like, dude, I've been singing out loud. Sign Your Name. Remember that song?
Sign your name. I gotta hear it. Let me see.
I can't play it because it's go listen, go look it up and listen.
Wishing on a winter.
Yeah, not that one. It goes. That's his song for sure. But this one, it goes. The chorus goes. Sign your name across my heart. Right?
I want you to be my baby.
Exactly. I didn't know it said that. I thought it said something like suddenly.
I knew what it said and you didn't know.
Dude, until like 3 weeks ago, and then when he says, sign your name, I've been going, suddenly.
Get it together. And he sings slow where you can understand it. What?
That's why this whole thing is coming up again. He was disgusted again. He goes,
I'm
what
going
did
mad
you
at that
say?
one. Like, what?
And I
Oh,
was like,
man.
I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And then I looked up the lyrics. So
Oh,
yeah, man. There's probably even more songs.
these songs, right? But shit, these days it don't matter because these songs you can't even understand what the hell they're saying anyway. Horrible.
Oh man. So yeah. All right. Okay, so where are we at on the high school stories? Where do we leave off?
Man, we got so many high school stories. Let me think. I feel like you came in 11th grade, right? And like we weren't fighters in high school. You know what I'm saying? We didn't fight. Well, I didn't fight. I don't know what you were doing. I didn't fight. Things did happen, but we weren't those like, you had kids knowingly like they fought all the time. We were not them. But there were people that we didn't like for many reasons. But I don't even think a lot of people, just, people who were culture vultures. And, that still stands to this day. So that doesn't matter. But do you remember the Sadie Hawkins? It's like Sadie Hawkins dance. I don't know if they still call it that. When you ask the guy to go to a dance.
Yeah, but we called it something else. It wasn't a Sadie Hawkins dance. It was called something else.
Sadie Hawkins. But yeah, so I feel like we were gonna talk about that and how. Did you have a date? I had a date. And you had a date.
Yeah.
You remember going? Yeah. So.
Yeah, we talked about it already. We talked about, I got the freezy curls. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I went to the black. Yeah, we talked about it. I went to the black hairstylist. I wanted to get diamonds and pearls updo, and they gave me freezy curls. And we have a picture. It's embarrassing.
Did you find it?
Because, yeah, I posted it too. Because I look like a culture vulture. Like, I would never get a black hairstyle.
But it didn't look like a black hairstyle. I don't think it did. Like, when you look at the picture now, do you feel like it looked like that? I then did not feel that. Maybe I need to see it to this day. But
it still it still stands. Like, I look at it, I'm like, oh. People see that and be like, oh, we know what kind of girl she was. And I wasn't that type of girl. Like, totally wasn't that type of girl.
Maybe you just look like a girl from, what's that show? In Living Color. Like, for the dance girls, they were hip. I don't think culture vulture, So.
I don't know, man. When I see those pictures, it's pretty bad for me. Like, I get so embarrassed because, and then I was thinking we should have, but I think if we would have tried to unfreezy curl them, it would have given that white stuff. It would have got the flakies. It would have had the flakies.
Definitely.
And it wouldn't look good.
So yeah, so 11th grade, that stands out for me a lot. For some reason, I guess it was a big, like I said, I didn't fight, so it was a big thing when all that little controversy drama was happening with my date and the other people. So that stands out big.
Yeah, we talked about her already too.
What grade or age did we start going to Tijuana?
15.
Do you think it was like 15, right?
We were 15.
I always tell people I was like 15. I've been drinking tequila since I was 15.
Yeah, we were 15.
So
we were 15 already going there. And then we talked about already, but this is the time, like, when I was at Chula with you, or right before, that's when we got our jobs at the zoo.
No. I don't think so for me after, because remember, it was more, I think, 12th grade because.
Oh, 12th grade.
I think 12th, because I remember I was pregnant with Mariano and I worked at the zoo. It was the beginning though. So I think it was the summer. Did you work there 2 years or 1 year?
I think I worked there 2 years because it was seasonal for us. And I remember I was just barely the age. It was my first job. And then after that was the mall. So I still was in high school.
You worked at the mall?
Yeah, I worked. Remember we talked about it? I worked at DJ's selling cross colors. to the Swabbies?
I barely remember that. Oh my goodness. Funny, the other day, Amaya, my daughter, she says, Mom, what you guys call those sailors again? So she thought we made that name up. I'm like, no, that Swabbies is the name. So no, we didn't make that up. But
No, we didn't make that up. Do you want to support original content that supports diverse voices? Why not support Word to Your Mama? You're listening to it right now. Become a patron. Head over to patreon.com/WTYM. There are 4 patron levels to choose from, including Good Looking Out, I'm Down, Hell Yeah, and Please Believe It. Benefits include patron shoutouts, exclusive patron-only content, and so much more. Head on over to patreon.com/WTYM to take your support to the next level. Gracias.
Many of us have heard of the devastating passing of Hurricane Fiona through Puerto Rico, but not many of us know of ways, or better yet, trustworthy ways to help and contribute to those in need. Fiona a través de los ojos de los niños is an NFT project featuring art made by children of the nonprofit school Flor de Loto in Ponce, Puerto Rico. Through their drawings, they've expressed their feelings and fears which they went through the hurricane. You can help these children, their school, families, and communities by minting one of their NFTs at helppr.xyz. You can also help by sending crypto directly to their wallet listed on the website, or do a donation through PayPal. The links can be found in the description. And to learn more about this initiative and how you can help, please visit helppr.xyz or via Twitter at helpprflm.
I just didn't remember that you ever worked at another store. In my brain, you only worked at the airport and the zoo. I don't even remember DJs.
Yeah, no, that was my second job and I think it was during high school, right after high school, and then it was the airport. So yeah, because I remember we were young when we started working.
So maybe it was a 2-year thing. The second year,
because you worked there for a long time. I maybe just worked there a year, maybe, because I remember it was seasonal, and then you were, oh, there, you're back. I think, but you froze.
Okay. So, okay, I did work there 2 years now, because I remember I worked in a food stand 1 year, then the next year I worked in a gift shop.
Yeah, and I had boned out maybe.
Gift shop time, because you went to school.
Yes, because I went to, and then I think maybe because it was seasonal, then that's why I went to work at Plaza Bonita at DJ's, because we were in high school, and then we mentioned it before where we were with Swabbies, and the Swabbies were like, I was like, oh, I'm going to tell him my real age, that I'm only 15. He was like, that's cool. So horrible. We were young. We were young. Horrible. We were super young.
Yeah, doing too much. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't work a lot. That was the only job I had as a teenager. So, the zoo was it. And now you wouldn't even recognize the zoo. It's insane. Totally.
Yeah, I haven't been since I worked there, probably.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like $60 a person. It's like real insane, but it's really nice. Still top-notch zoos forever, like hands down.
Best in the world.
Best in the world.
But going back to dating Swabbies and dating older guys, I just finished part 1 of Ice-T on Questlove Supreme. So that's Questlove's podcast, and it's him and other people, and they interview people from the music world, and they go deep dive and da-da-da. But they were talking about their high school times, and they're asking Ice-T, oh, you weren't with he was like, yeah, I didn't have sex till later because I was talking to the girls, but the girls didn't want to talk to me. They were with older dudes. That's just our generation. I don't know I hope that doesn't happen now because we're older, but for our generation, that was the norm. It was no big deal for 15, 16-year-olds to date 20, 30, you know what I mean? So that the generation before us and then our generation, That was like norms. Like it was like normal.
Why? That's weird. Why? And then if that was normal, but then we have a problem with it now, like our same age. You know what I mean? If that was normal, I don't feel like that was normal. I don't know why it was normal.
It was, I know, it was just normal because they were talking about it. I was like shaking my head, like totally. And then they were like, really? Is that really? And then Questlove, yep. He's like, all the fly girls didn't date any of the kids in school because they were dating people in college or out of college.
Dope boys.
Exactly. So I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I was like, I wonder if that happens now as much. You know what I mean?
I don't think as much because
hopefully not.
Yeah, because there's such a stigma on, you know, the age. And even if, like, it's funny you just said that. I was reading this morning and listening to Marcus Houston talk about him and his wife. He met her, he was 30 something, met her at 17.
Yeah, no.
Blah, blah, blah. You guys look it up. You know what I'm saying? But I was just like, yeah, that's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not right. It's not right. It wasn't right for us. And it's especially not right now. So that's why I was wondering if it still happens. It shouldn't be happening, but
yeah, I feel like, well, we know it's happening. The what's his name? The old man who got stung for doing that. Harvey, whatever. You know, old man. I cannot think of his name right now. Like they're like saying Trump was with this guy. Weinstein?
Epstein?
You see how much I don't care. But yeah, his ass. So
yeah, but that's like sneaky links, right? That's like you pay for it and it's on the DL and
talking up front like, oh, this my man.
Like, oh, gotta go. And then the dude just comes to pick you up from high school in the nice ass car. Like, I wonder if like that shit still happens. If it happens, it's like on the DL. And
yeah, it's taboo if it's happening because the girls are probably gonna be like, oh, or you know, the girls are flaunting it these days, you know, being sugar babies and stuff like that. So I think it's like 50-50, depending on how you look at it. So yeah, it's horrible, but y'all young girls, be aware and be careful. That's the main thing.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of dudes that
don't care.
They don't see anything wrong because they just see like a young, good-looking, they think young woman. But dude, she's only 15, 16, 17.
Even 18.
Even 18.
Like,
for reals.
Even 21. Like, this person knows nothing that you know.
Exactly.
So, you know, those times. So hopefully the times will get better and young women will be more aware and, you know, care.
Yeah.
And I understand certain circumstances. You do fall in love with certain people, but how did it even get that far?
Exactly. So yeah. So anyways, like that dude, I like the swabbies and stuff. At that time, we weren't even doing anything. We would like see him at the mall, meet him at the mall. Like it was pretty innocent, but still, it was like, ew, no, don't call me again.
Right. Block.
And most of them, and we talked about this before too, but most of them were East Coast. They're all from New York.
That's insane.
New York, Philly,
down south.
But the fly ones,
New York,
for sure.
Right. Yeah, and it's so crazy these days because now I see, like living in San Diego on, you know, West Coast. I didn't understand why all of the military guys just like loved Fam Mart and loved, you know, certain things that they did like.
Tell people those that don't know what Fam Mart is, so if there's something similar in their neighborhood that they grew up with, they understand.
Fam Mart is, so like if you're from part of LA, like Sloss and Swap Meet. It's a swap meet, but here they call them flea markets. They look like they got fleas too.
Hence the name.
So, but the flea markets here, yeah, they are the same. They have some indoor ones and they have outdoor ones like swap meet. But they're huge here. It's a big deal. And I can just imagine how they were back in the day. Yeah. Because it was a place where you have your flea markets, swap meets in the urban areas. And here they don't have good transportation. So that's where you would go probably to, connect, link up, whatever. So I so get it now. When I moved here, I was like, that's why they congregated at FanMart.
Because that's what they knew. And it was FanMart, and then we called it Fan Bam. And so yesterday we were driving, and the Supernatural Bear was asking about drive-ins. And we were like, oh, a lot of them went out of business because people weren't using them anymore. But then during the pandemic, the ones that were still around were doing pretty good because you could go see movies or whatever. And I was like, and also I go, a lot of them were converted into, because on the weekends they'd have swap meets. And he's like, what's a swap meet? So that's funny you're bringing it up, because I was like, oh yeah, swap meet is this. And we're telling him, I go, yeah, we used to go all the time. I go, mijo, we didn't have streaming radio. I go, so to know what was happening in music that wasn't being played, I go, I'd have to go to the swap. I went to swap meet every weekend. And that's where I'd see if I had any money, because I didn't really have an allowance. Like, mis abuelitos, they would give me domingo, but it was like maybe a couple of dollars. I'd have enough for pins. We had the picture pins. I still have them, like Michael Jackson and all that stuff, and Boy George and shit like that. But we'd go and get the local DJs had mixtapes, and that's what you knew what was like the latest songs coming out. Like we couldn't just go on our phone and computer and be like, oh, that's the latest. We had to go to swap meets. They were affordable. He was like, what kind of things do they sell? We're like, from junk to clothes. That's where I got my China flats, my
Mary Jane,
my Mary Janes, my ninja shoes, that my Bogart pants,
the socks with the balls on the back,
all day.
Yes.
But
the best thing for me about swap meet, the food. The food, hands down, the food. You can't beat it. Like they had like these, because swap meet, the one I went to, because you had the one kind of like in the Caucasian neighborhood, then you have the Mexican. I like the Mexican ones because you get the chimichangas, the chimichanga burritos, and then just the burritos, the everything, all the food, the fruit bowl,
everything.
We ain't going to Kobe, baby. We going over here to Spring Valley. Sure.
Yeah, Spring Valley, and then the one that we always went to was National City. That's where I got all my clothes, all my pins, my buttons. And I was like, I don't know how much they were. They're probably like, to us, a lot. Maybe they were like $1, $2 for like a button. And I was like, I still have them. But yeah, that was the place, that especially for Black and brown folks, or any, like ethnic folks, first generation, you can, it's like a world market kind of.
Man, so is. And you just met all kind of people, seen all kind of people, know how to navigate, how to move and groove through the crowds, like everything.
That prepared us too. Like that's another thing that prepared us too, because you were a kid, we were kids to teens. Don't get lost.
You better be staying right here. I learned how to stand still real quick. Stand still and just yell or wait. Ain't no calling your mama on the phone, baby.
No, there was nothing. You're asked out. And you know what always reminds me of the National City swap meet is that one dude that had the umbrella hat. Do you remember him?
No.
Always we went every weekend at the National City swap meet. If you guys know, you guys are laughing right now because you know exactly what I'm talking about. That white dude, and he had a little hat, but the hat was an umbrella.
A headband, and the umbrella came out.
Yeah. And I think it was like a red and white striped or red and blue, striped.
Or rainbows, one of them.
Hilarious. But he was always there greeting you, and I was like, that's how you knew you were there, because And then is this at every? This was like, I think, especially in San Diego, I don't know how it was in other areas, but you have your swap meet, right? You go in and you have, like, I don't know, because you have to pay, I don't know if you pay premium for that stall.
It's outdoors.
It's outdoor. This is outdoor. So you go in and you see the stuff, and it's nice stuff, but the further you go to the back,
the junkier it gets.
The junkier it gets. There's no more tables. There's like maybe a blanket with some trinkets and things.
Yes. Well, I can attest to that because as an adult, I sold at the swap meet. Yes. So you buy a lot. It's a square, so they have it taped off and numbered. So you have to get there like at 4 a.m. because swap meet opens at 7. So you have to get there at 4 a.m. They ask you what you're selling. And then that's why they put it like that. Like they kind of organize it.
They try to group it together.
Like new stuff here, this stuff there, junk stuff in the back. But everyone goes to the junk store. But I made $900 when I went.
Oh, nice. Just reselling your stuff. It was a pretty good condition?
Oh, you know me, yeah. Good stuff. And the people love, you know how I do. But clothes, they love clothes and want to swindle you for clothes. Like I would have to put, because people would steal your stuff. So I would try to sell like kids' shoes or whatever, but I just put one.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gonna get both of these, just one.
So when we at post-college, I was already working because I was already working for doing street team. It was after doing street team for Nate Dogg. So we had all these extra Nate Dogg shirts and stuff like that. So I gotta ask the G's. But I remember we went hella early. I don't know if it was here or in San Diego. You went to the swap meet?
In San Diego. I remember you guys were saying you're going to sell at swap meet.
And so we went hella early. And when we were setting up, our peoples came and ganked us. Just started grabbing shit.
Yeah, they go crazy.
They just were like, what is this? And we're like, hey. And they're just grabbing shit and taking off.
Gotta be ready.
So I got to ask them for some deets because I don't remember how much, if we ended up having anything else left over to sell.
Yeah, I made so much, man. I made such good money. I was like so shocked. And I was like, should we do it again? But it's just so time consuming. It's a lot. Like we were done. We made the money by like 11 o'clock and was done.
You got there at 4?
Got there at 4 to stand in line and get your ticket, all your stuff they give you, your lot. It's a headache.
So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 7 hours.
Yeah.
I'm all trying to figure out the numbers. 7 hours.
Really 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So really 4 hours because it's not open till 7.
No, but the time you had to go.
Yeah, 4 for sure.
So since 4, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 hours.
Yes. Okay.
So 900 divided by 7. Oh, that's pretty good. You still made about 128 an hour. 128 an hour.
That's pretty good if you got the stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was noticing people, they would not buy it and wait to the end. But we weren't going to wait to the end because it was going to be 12 o'clock. We were going to be out.
Yeah.
So they want you to throw your shit in the trash so they can go get it.
That's smart.
But I was peeping them. I was watching everything. And then I think we made a lot too because baby daddy, he knows Spanish. So.
Oh, sí.
And I was like, you didn't start speaking Spanish. Like I was getting all crazy because I couldn't communicate, but I want to make deals. But when he started speaking Spanish, blew up.
Yeah.
It blew up.
And how much did you remember how much the stall was? Because you have to deduct that.
I want to say maybe $50 or $25.
Oh, that's not bad.
It was cheap. It was cheap.
Then you made out. That was a good call. Yeah.
Got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. Took a little bit back, threw in the dumpster at my complex. Done. So it was good times. That was a good experience.
Nice.
And I started going because my sister and brother-in-law started going. They were going first. And, he always has a lot of junk.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
They've always been hustling, huh? Always selling, always figuring out the stuff.
That's D for you, man. That's D. Hands down. Hands down.
All right. So anything else before we wrap this episode?
My kids, they had birthdays and that's it. Like, that's what we were celebrating. Birthdays, kids getting older. We need to talk about if anybody got any info on how to get their kids out the nest. Help me push a bird out the nest.
One lonely bird.
Maybe she probably got one wing, but she gonna fly, baby.
She could walk.
Walk it out. She gonna do something, baby. But kids growing up, man. Man, we need to talk about Joe, baby. He's so smart. He's just what a genius that kid is. Love
Little
it.
Little man. Yeah. All right then. So the next episode, which will be this one's mid-April will come out. We'll have to record the next one. If you have any questions, let us know.
Yeah. We're still working on this trip.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll keep posted. We have some time. All right then, Relly.
And now introducing the Supernatural Bear Corner.
Supernatural Bear.
Shooby-doo-doo. Shooby-doo. Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. Episode 127, Relatives 25, and what you just listened to, what you just witnessed with your ear holes is a Supernatural Bear original. That is correct. That is called Rise 2. So for the Supernatural Bear Corner, we played one of his latest originals. He's been really deep in production mode, kids, where, he'll be like, oh, I'm, working on this with my friends, and I'm producing the music and doing the soundtrack, and this is what I come up with. And I was like, we're like, by yourself? He's like, yeah, I play the piano part, and I got some drum loops, and da-da-da-da-da. Producer on her hands, kids. Producer on her hands. How dramatic and cinematic was that? I mean, I might be a little biased because he's my little man's, but he's 10. He's 10. These kids, I tell you. So yeah, anyways, that is the latest Relatives. I believe we have another episode, a great one coming up next week. And then I believe, depending on how this meeting goes, I think we're going to take a break, but I'll be reposting older episodes as we take a couple of weeks to try to transfer more information to come. But yes, thank you so much for the support. You know all the ways you can support that are free. You can also support, as you heard from the promo, Patreon. Buy us a whiskey buy us a coffee. Free is to leave a review, and also free is tell your folks, tell your peeps, and tell your friends. And as always, we reap. Word to Your Mama is owned and produced by Ritzy P. Intro beat produced by Nico Beats. If you want to know more, you want to email us, you want to get the media kit, go head over to wordtoyourmama.com. Word to Your Mama is now part of the Latina Podcasters Network. And as always, Word to Your Mama is brought to you by RitzyBerrywinkle.com.